Hey guys, I've been getting emails many times lately. People saying, "Do you have any Troma films? You should show your Troma DVDs. Show all the ones you have." So I thought I'd finally do a video showing all of the Troma DVDs that I have. I have pretty many, not too many, and as many of you have heard, for the last over 2 years now, Troma hasn't had a DVD company. That's why there hasn't been much new from them. And recently, their New York building closed down, and they are relocating to a new location. So it's not looking so good for Troma. I'm thinking it's about to be the end for them, because that one movie that they had, Poltergeist, I've heard about that since, like, I don't know, 4 years it's been in the can. It just keeps sitting around and sitting around and sitting around, and nothing happens with it. It gets showed at some screenings, but it hasn't gotten a release yet. I don't know what Lloyd Kaufman's waiting for. But here's some of the ones that I've got. The first one I have is Cannibal the Musical, which is Matt Stone and Trey Parker's musical film about a cannibal. It's actually a really good musical. It's similar to the South Park musical, the style. Lots of like innuendo jokes and stuff in this, but it's definitely a worth watching film. One of the best Troma movies that they didn't make that they released. The next one was one that there was going to be more volumes for, but they didn't do it, and I liked it. It was called it's a British show, I believe, Best of Crapston Villas, and this was like a animated, kind of like a clay animated, something like that, sort of a real dirty show about these people living in this apartment building. It was really funny. I don't know if you can buy it very much anymore. This one, I like these ones. They are the Troma Dance Film Festivals DVDs. They're the movies that, people who are fans of Troma make. They put into the film festival and they release all the ones, the best ones. And one of my favorite ones on here was the Zit Lover one, about the guy dumping cheese on himself and getting all these pimples. The next one was about the Cannes Film Festival, about when Troma went there. And it's an interesting documentary. It's called All the Love You Cans. And it's a pretty interesting documentary. I watched the whole thing. Got this a long time ago, though. It's an interesting one if you like Troma. Although, like I said, they haven't done much in a long time, so there's not too much to base them on recently. Their best stuff was pretty much from the 80s. This is a documentary they released called Jefftown. It was about this guy, well, he's mentally challenged, and he worked at a movie theater, and it was like showing him the things he did. It was a very interesting documentary and very well done. I liked it. The next one is Troma had a show that they produced in America, but it was too raunchy for American TV, and no one would put it on except they got it or distribution with it in Europe on England's Channel 4, which is the channel. I wish that channel was a way to get it here, but it has all of England's best shows. I believe that's what Extras aired on. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't, but all the big shows, Office, the British one and all that, aired on that channel. And this is Troma's Edge TV, and this was like a talk show, not really talks, like interview show, things like that Troma did in the 90s. The next one is Butt Crack, and this was the soundtrack by Mojo Dixon, and it was Nixon. It was about this guy that died, that was a zombie, and if you stared at his butt crack, you would die. Very weird movie. Really cheap, though, like really independent. I heard they were doing a part 2 of it, but I don't know if that's ever going to happen. The next one, can't show the butt cheeks, is Terra Firma, which was one of my favorite Troma films, one of the most recent Troma films that I really liked. And this was all about making a film. Since I do films, it was interesting to me, and about there being a murderer on the set. This is one I really liked. This is definitely one you should check out. And the next one is the Toxic Avenger series. I have all 4 of them. Part 1, 2, Part 2, what number is this that's signed? Part 2 is signed by Lloyd Kaufman. You can see that. I've met him a couple of different times. Part 1, though, the director's cut, is my favorite of all the movies. Part 2 is pretty decent. I didn't like Part 3 very much at all. I did like part 4, Citizen Toxie. It was very different. It was kind of a moderner film, but I did like this. It came out a couple years ago, and I think this was one of the last movies, I might be wrong, that Hank the Angry Dwarf, that some of you would remember from Howard Stern, who died of, I believe, alcohol poisoning, because he was a very big alcoholic, but he was pretty funny, and he definitely had a career ahead of him if he could have gotten off the alcohol. The next one is people will say is the best Troma film, and it's Romeo and Juliet, and I would say it's pretty much the best produced movie they've done. The most slightly serious yet funny. It's not my favorite though. It's good though. This one I really love because it's a real 80s film. Class of Nukem High. This has a real, true 80s style. And I like this one. I think I might have one of the sequels. Sequels were okay. The best one to watch is the first movie. I really like this one. It was all shot at I don't know if it was, I think it was supposed to be high school, but probably everyone was a lot older than that. The next one I like a lot. And it's one of the PG Troma films that I don't think they made, they just released, called Monster in the Closet. And I know this is considered on like some lists of some of the worst movies, but this is actually pretty good, and I did like the cover for this a lot. And this is definitely one you should check out. The thing about this cover, too, they don't do many of them anymore, is drawn covers. When they draw something for the cover, they draw the actors. I miss seeing covers like that. And this one is considered pretty much a classic. It's a French Troma film, a French film that Troma released, Rabid Grannies. This one I really liked. This is definitely one that's worth watching, and it was really silly and pretty funny. And then the next one I didn't like. I thought that it was going to be good, and then it was just these two crappy DV films that Troma couldn't do anything with because they were no good. So they tried to cut them into a movie called Tales from the Crapper, and I did not like this movie. I could barely get through it. It had a really cool cover. I mean, the cover is better than the movie itself. I believe it had some interesting comedy. I mean, features and stuff, but other than that, it wasn't a very good movie. The next one is a film that a teacher of mine in high school stars in. He's not in this as much as some of the other ones, Don Lyford, but this is a great film. It's too bad the director of this recently died not long ago, Don Dohler, and I've known a lot of people who've worked for him. One guy who was his special effects artist and camera operator. I was in class with him. This isn't my favorite. My favorite Don Dohler movie is Fiend. You should definitely, everyone check that out. You can get it on Amazon. It's out of print, but you can get it used for like $10. And at some Borders books, they have a 2-pack with Alien Factor, his other film, and Fiend. And the next movie is Pigs, which was an interesting film. It had some problems with the film transfer, though. Pieces of the movie were missing, so they tried to sort of string it together as good as they can. And it was directed by Mark Lawrence, and I think he did something in Dusk Till Dawn, or I don't remember. The next one I liked, there was a more recent film in the 90s at some point called Fatty Drives the Bus. It's a pretty stupid cover, but it was a pretty good movie about like a bus driver driving the bus to hell, something like that. And the next are the movies I have from one of my favorite independent directors, Giuseppe Andrews, and I order all of his movies now from his website, giuseppeandrews.net, since Troma isn't releasing his stuff anymore. But the ones that they released, and these are all very adult films, so they're only for 18 and up, first one is Period Piece. I don't remember what this plot was. I think it was about, I don't remember. These were never, my favorite ones are the ones he's released. This one, though, has the one I really like, Dribble, about like these two basketball players that were old and retired, really dirty, though. This was the one that started everyone liking his films, Trailer Town, about all these terrible, like, gross people at a trailer doing all this just, like, really weird stuff. This one you can get pretty much everywhere. They have it at Best Buy. They have it at I've seen it everywhere. Borders Books, Barnes & Noble, some of them have it. This one had the best release, though. Touch Me in the Morning, which was one of his earliest films. It was in black and white. And this one's definitely good, worth watching. But this one also has Charlottetown, another movie that I really liked he did, Who Flung Pooh. But go to his website, and the movies he's doing now are some of my favorites. My favorite he ever did got released on Period Piece. No, on this one, but it got cut down, cut up a bit, was Wiggly Harris. That's my all-time favorite movie he did. I think he cut it down for this DVD because he did a lot of nudity, and I think he was ashamed later about how much he did, and he didn't really want people seeing him naked. That's my only guess, because he did that a lot in the movie. So he might have cut it and down and did whatever he could to try and make it shorter and not have those scenes. And the next one is the Volume 2 of Troma's Edge TV. And like I said, I wouldn't say like these are all my favorites or anything. I was just asked to show what Troma movies I have. And since they haven't done much lately, I haven't bought anything from them in a couple of years now. I did order a film that I wanted to watch that John McBride acts in called Blades, and it's a 3-pack. I just ordered that today because I wanted to watch that one. I ordered that on Amazon, I think used for like $10 or something. So thanks for watching. Look forward to hearing what you think of this. And remember, this is only for people that are really interested in Troma films. The other movies are more universal that I've done on DVDs. This is just for select people that like Troma movies. And thanks for watching.